Jens. So Jens is the professional and speaker from Denmark, from one of the biggest wood companies in the world, in my opinion, at least one of the oldest companies in the world here, with 140 years experience in timber business.
Yeah, even more than that. I'll just start my presentation and tell you a little bit more. Just 1 second.
Yeah, please feel free. That's really nice to see an essential background and wallpaper for the wood industry.
Exactly. It's not even our background. It's not only our background, it's also our, I'll just see if I can get the right screen on here. It's also a testing environment for our systems. So I'll just like this and share. Take it down. So you start seeing my screen now?
Yes, we can.
And you will be able to see my presentation in just a second. So you see my presentation as well?
Yes.
Perfect. Well, thank you for the invite for doing a presentation here today. It's quite nice sharing this information about systems like ours and also the experience behind it to make sure that not all, but most of the world will know a little bit more about what's developing in forestry industry. I'll talk a little bit about transparency in timber measurements, and thank you to Ben before here, because the whole supply chain transparency is so important and will be even more in the future. And we will hear a little bit about that in the next topic. But first, a little bit about myself. My name is Jens. I'm the business manager in HD LogSystems. I have a quite wide experience, even though I haven't been in the industry that many years. I've worked with forestry planning in Sweden and also timber purchasing and selling in mainly Denmark, but also other European countries too, mainly Asia. I'm an MBA candidate for hopefully 24 in the beginning of the new year, and I have a Bachelor of Science in Forest and Landscape Engineering. So basically forestry. HD LogSystems is a part of Hede Denmark, and that's where you, Alex, told that we have quite a long business, tradition in this. Our company is more than 155 years old. I'll tell you a little bit more about that afterwards. Hede Denmark is the leading company in the forestry sector in Denmark. We have the honor to have the Queen Margaret II as a patron here. All profit not reinvested in Hede Denmark and its in the growth are funneled through projects for social products and so on. So basically we are a commercial foundation, so we are not owned by any private investors. As I said, we are the leading company for trading and for forestry business in Denmark, and also in a wide variety of industries in Denmark, also other Baltic areas. We have around 900 employees, and our unit, HD LogSystems, is just a small part of that company. Ever since late 1900, ever since 1999, I think we started developing systems in HD LogSystems. The company, as you see here, has existed since 1866, so we have quite a long tradition. All systems developed in our department are made for internal use. So we haven't been building the system for external users or for selling. It was mainly to simplify processes in our own forestry industry or forestry business. So for the system we have made is basically built by us for ourselves. Some years ago, we saw that the opportunity to actually start selling it, because the quality of the system we made were that good. So there were a possibility to put it onto the market. As you see now, our own products are used in Denmark, Germany, Sweden, UK, and the Baltics. And Hede Denmark is actually one of the leading forestry managers in Northern Europe, not in relation to hectares and so on, but in relation to how many countries we actually operate in. In the Baltics, we are the leading standalone private forestry manager. As I said, ever since 1999, we have been building systems or developing systems for measuring stacks of raw wood in the forest. The first system was quite basic, taking picture of a stack of wood with measuring rods at the sides and sending that picture for afterwards processing. This has, of course, developed over the latest years, or at least over the last 20 years, into the new systems, LogStack Pro and LogStack Leader, we are actually retailing now. We do think that we were actually the first taking pictures of stacks in the forest and actually making measurements of it. That was my colleague Lars, who actually thought of this idea in the beginning. Our systems are divided into two. LogStack Leader is the newest. I'll just tell you a little bit about that first. It works on a standard iPad. So basically you can go down to your local electronics store and buy an iPad, download an app, and you'll be up and running doing measurements in the forest. The system is one of the few app-based systems in the European market that doesn't require a manual reference. I'll tell you a little bit more about manual reference and automatic reference later, because that is quite interesting in all this measurement. It has a quite intuitive interface, and as you see on the video on the right, it's actually quite easy to record. You don't take pictures, you basically just take a movie. What you see on the right is like a 2-time speeded up video showing how to do a stack measurement. This was performed in the early summer, actually by myself, and we have quite good results on this. All volume produced in Hede Denmark is measured with systems like this. And as I said before, we are the leading forestry management business in Denmark. The system here is, as you can see a picture of it in the bottom of the screen, is LogStack Pro. It works on the same theory, but instead of using a LiDAR sensor built in the iPad, it uses a stereo camera for putting the side reference on the picture. We see some other using that, and also another Danish company, and these two are the only certified systems actually for measuring wood in Germany. It's certified by the PTB, so we can proudly say that we have the only handheld system for measuring stacks of raw material in the forest. As for what covers the LogStack Pro and LogStack Leader, both do this video style measurements, so it's easy to use. You don't have to take pictures. And what is most important with both systems is that the user don't have any implication on the size reference. All is done automatically, so you can trust the measurements that comes out of this system. And that's what I'm going to tell you a little bit about now. And the reference-free system is, as you saw earlier, and as you also see on other products on the market, there's two different types. There's the manual reference, where the user put some device or some unit in the picture, in the scene that they know the size of. Then they can tell the system that this leveling rod or manual length measure of the stack is this long. And when you do all the stitching, putting together all the images, you will know size of that. That can be used in many different units. You can basically all devices you can download an app for, you can use it, or using basically even cameras. And that's of course a nice thing. The sad thing is quite easy to falsify, because if I want to buy a pile of wood laying somewhere in Germany, measured with a manual reference system, I wouldn't know if that manual reference was put on good if someone intended want to cheat with it, and even if they say that we have a verified reference object, it's hard for me to know that that object is actually verified. So they say they have a size of it, I wouldn't know. That's why we've been developing into this is the approach of LogStack Leader. As you see on the screen, you have 3 different camera angles. In between those, we have the IMU, we have the relative motion, so we have an idea on where we have taken these pictures. We know the exact length or the depth of the image with the LiDAR sensor. That combined with the camera in a fusion creates a very exact measurement and size reference put on the measurement of this stack. Meaning all information that is necessary for the user or for the trader is relevant. The user cannot meddle with the size reference. So if I were a trader, I would trust the volume that comes out of this, even if I don't have to go to forest and see the specific pile of wood. And this is quite a big difference with the approach on the manual reference and the automated reference. System-wise, it's not that much more expensive. A phone like using on the LiDAR or a tablet that we would recommend is around €1,000. So of course, Apple has more expensive products, but the value gain from this is much more than the price. What LogStack Leader is also about is, of course, precision and what's that called? Traceability and transparency in this. So speed, precision is also 2 important parts of this. And it's always nice to know how fast is the system really. And I'll see if the video starts here. We've been doing some tests with LogStack Leader compared to other manual reference systems and manual measured systems. So basically the old traditional way of measuring. And with 400 repetition of doing the same measurements, we have had a quite significant difference in the results. In relation to the manual reference systems, the time consumers of collecting the data, of doing the measurements, is around 2.5 times faster with LogStack Leader. And in total, 2 times faster when you in relation to putting all the data in it, to filling the forms and so on. We have a quite good result on different users using the same system. So whether it's me or another forester testing with it, we have plus minus 85% difference. And that is quite good. Even manual measurements don't rely to that numbers. And if you do look at the old school way of measuring, using LogStack Leader is 8 to 9 times faster than what we normally see used in forest. So it is fast, reliable, and accurate. I see that questions are coming in now. I'll just go to this slide, telling a little about the takeaways from this presentation, and all questions are welcome afterwards. The Leader tech is quite cheap. It's easy to get in hand of. Photo optic measurements can really improve transparency of trading, and that is quite important also in some of the later presentation we'll have during the day. Manual and auto reference of photo optic measurements are quite different. So you have to really, for user angle, look into what kind of need do you have and what is the real user case of the optical measurement that you need. And as you see, auto reference systems are normally faster than manual reference. Questions? Feel free, and if you want to connect, you have my LinkedIn and my WhatsApp information right there.
Thank you, Jens, for a really nice and informative presentation. I let the audience to make a picture without my image,
I'll just do like this.
Yeah. Okay, great. I think everyone captured your contacts. and they contact you later. So I think we can discuss some questions, and we have questions for you.
Here.
Yeah, and we will discuss the questions during panel discussion.